Hey guys, Cosmic Mushroom, and today I'm going to show you guys how to improve your FPS in games, make your system a lot smoother and nicer running. First things first, I highly recommend creating a system image backup, especially when you're going through services and all that kind of stuff. Just so if something does go wrong, you can always back up your files. Now what you want to do, I guess to do that, I'll just show you guys real quick. You can just search up, I think image, I can't spell. Oh, maybe not. You can go to, yeah, backup settings. And then when you're in backup settings, go to backup and restore right here. And then you want to go to create system image. And then when you do, I mean, I already have mine, so I don't need to. And then just choose the disk you want to store it on and hit OK and let it do its thing. I think I'm actually doing that right now. Yeah, right here. See, it's going right now. So then the next thing, once you have your backup and you have file history saved, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your settings and then go to your probably privacy, yeah, right here, and then you just want to go through all your privacy settings. I have them all off. I have location off. I don't need anyone knowing my location. Camera I leave on because I don't really care. Notifications, you can turn this off if you want. I leave it on. Then like turn off your speech. I just turn all of this off because I don't need people seeing. The other unfortunate thing is you have to do this. It normally resets when you get a Windows update. I know I just had an update, so all these are switched back on. I'll leave radios on because it uses Bluetooth. But like all this stuff and feedback, you can't, I mean, turn it off here. Set ask for feedback to never, and set this to basic, and they won't let you shut it off completely. But I have another solution to lower the telemetry and feedback they get. Background apps, turn this off. That's just sucking up your all your stuff, and I leave that off as well. Now, the other thing that I think the other thing that I find is a really helpful program is CCleaner. I think it stands for crab cleaner, but I don't want to update that right now. First thing, obviously, when you come up is the cleaner. Check everything you want. I have this and this in advanced, and then all your applications, and then you can hit analyze, and as you can see, 2 gigs right here. And that's just that's just for memory dumps from system. Hit run cleaner, and there you go. You just freed up 2 gigs. The first time you guys run this, you might have 16 gigs up on this. There can be a lot of just crap on your computer you don't need. And that's exactly why it's named crap cleaner. Same thing with registry. You want all this checked and hit scan for issues. Again, first time running this will have a ton of keys in here that you don't need. Actually, I don't have any. That's actually really surprising. But if you did, hit here, fix selected issues. It'll ask for a backup. I hit no, and then you just have to hit fix all issues. Now, another really nice thing that is included in the tools area is you have uninstall, so you can go in here and find any programs you don't use anymore. It makes it uninstalling a lot easier and getting rid of all the old all the Microsoft apps you don't want on here. Same thing with startup. I have mostly everything other than my antivirus, Intel, my mouse drivers, and my audio drivers, and a couple of these other things on startup. But everything else, I put it on no for enabled, because it just makes opening Windows so much faster, and you don't. If you like a lot of this stuff you don't need, and if I do need it, I'm going to be opening it up. So like Discord, I just open that up when I use it. Same thing with CCleaner. So I turn it all off, just makes opening up Windows a lot faster, and if I need something I can turn it on myself. Cancel this. Now the other thing that if you guys want to see more of like a graph of your actual storage, it's this Windows directory, I think, statistics. Hit yes on this, and this will go through all your drives, as you can see up here, and it'll show in like sort of a graph kind of form what is taking up the most space. So when this finishes scanning, I'll show you guys what I mean by that. It does take a little bit longer if you got a good amount of stuff stored. I have like roughly maybe 400 gigs on this thing, so it'll take a little bit longer, especially because I have an image backup on here. But it does take a little bit longer for it to scan all the programs, but when it does, if you guys like being more visual and seeing stuff in graphs and charts, this is a really cool program just to show you what you have on your disk space. But actually, we'll let this finish loading and we can hop into the next settings. What you want to do is you want to go to your search bar and type power and sleep settings. In your settings, do whatever you want for your screen and sleep. I have a laptop, so I have sleep and all this stuff for plugged in and not. But then you want to go to additional power settings right here, and for some of you it'll just look like this. So hit show additional plans. I know Razer Cortex adds its own, but all you have to do is hit high performance right here. You can also hit change plan and change advanced power settings. So like for example, most of this is on pretty high, but I know like where's CPU? I think CPU is on here somewhere. But you can change around some of the stuff you want and what power you want going where. But you don't really need to change that around too much. Just make sure you're on high performance, because if you're plugged in, and most of you, I'm assuming, are on a desktop, you mean this is what you want right here. Now the next thing you want to do is you can disable some services. I'll leave a list of all the services you can disable in the folder I'm going to leave in the description. But all you have to do is type services in your search bar, and you can go through all these, and all you have to do is, so let me find one that I know. So here, let's go down to the Xbox ones. So all these ones, Xbox game, you don't need any of this unless you use it, obviously. All you have to do is right click properties and hit disable. Now I chose this one because it has a triggering, like is a manual, but it's triggered. So I disabled all those. Yeah, so some of this like game monitoring stuff, you have to go into the shell to disable it. But go through, if they're on manual and it doesn't say trigger, I would recommend just leaving it at that, because if your computer needs to use it, it'll just do it when it needs it. But for some of this automatic stuff that you don't need in the server list, you can hit that to disable. So go through there. Again, these are your Windows services, so you don't want to be deleting stuff you don't know what it is. So if you don't trust my list, you can go and look up what each thing does and see if you need that. If you don't, just leave stuff on manual or disabled. So don't. That's why I recommend making that image backup so you don't screw anything up. Now, the other thing you can do to free up some GPU is you type in advanced and then hit view advanced in the settings right here. And then you want to go to advanced and then performance and hit settings. And this under visual effects will show you you can adjust for best performance or appearance, and that just makes like windows, like your images and stuff, look better. So you can turn this to best performance. I keep these checked on because I want to see thumbnails. I want to see what the contents and stuff, because watch, this just doesn't, I don't like this, so I leave that on. I also want smooth edges and the little rectangle when you're snapping. I guess you can't do it with this, but choose what you want to keep in and off, and that's it for there. Now, another really helpful program that I use, because I don't want Windows getting a whole bunch of stuff sent to it from my computer, is this program right here, OS, I think it's like Shut Up 10 or something like that. Run as administrator, and what this does is it disables all the telemetry stuff that, like, there's a ton in here. So all you have to do, and all I recommend doing, is hitting apply all recommended settings. I already have a restore point, so I don't need to hit no. Or I need to hit, I hit no because I already have one. And you might have to do this after an update because some of the stuff does reset. And that's all you need, and that disables a lot of telemetry and stuff people just, you don't need Microsoft seeing. So, and then it asks you to reboot. So after you do all this, I do recommend restarting your computer to see if anything's wrong, or and then to finish up any services that need to be disabled and all that. The next thing I recommend you guys installing that's just helpful for me, and I use it because it makes updating drivers way easier, is this Driver Booster 4 right here. You just have to load it up, and it'll scan when you open up all your drivers. As you can see, I'm up to date right now, but this is really helpful when you first run it, because it'll find, I found like 15 drivers I needed updated. As you can see, all my stuff is up to date. I know they also have in their paid version, like it does have some, look, it has like all this stuff right here. I don't obviously want to be paying for this, so I don't, but do what you guys want to do. I haven't tested it, so don't quote me on its performance, but I mean, if it's paid and it's a reasonable program, it should do its job. Other thing, if you have an NVIDIA, just make sure that your drivers are up to date. I am. So all you have to do is hit drivers and then check for updates, and it'll say if you need to install a new one. That's in GeForce. If you do not have an NVIDIA, you have an AMD, I think you can just go to their website and it automatically detects it for you. Now, another really helpful program that I like using is Razer Cortex. Now, what Cortex does is, if you go to Game Booster over here, when you hit boost, it clears a whole bunch of your RAM from systems and programs you don't need running while you're playing games. Oh, sorry, I don't know why this stuff is popping up. Oh, this didn't finish. But anyways, that'll show, this right here shows you guys basically your data. So anyways, back to this. Go to configure, and you can go through what you want getting cleared. I just leave it on default because I don't want to mess up anything. Now the other thing, you can do this tweak. I don't have anything in here, but one thing I definitely recommend is in your defragger. Once you install a game, you want to just hit defrag all if it's on a hard drive. If it's not, if it's on a SSD, don't do any defragging, because you don't need to. You can also defrag just your entire hard drive through Windows, and that will just speed up your read and writes a little bit more. So that's Razer Cortex, and the one last program is this timer right here. All this does is when you start gaming or you're doing some editing and processing, you want to hit maximum, and this just increases the speed at which Windows can, like, I guess, like, the computer can talk to Windows, and it just makes a little bit of a difference. It's not necessary, but I like it. It's very simple, and then when you're done, just hit default and then close it out. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to boost your computer's performance and just, I guess, set up the computer the best way possible. Now, I will leave this folder in the description. It has the services, a list of services, and all the setups for the programs that I showed you guys. Oh, I missed one last thing. Sorry. My antivirus is Avast. It's a really good free program. It works. You can run a smart scan. It has a full scan. You can scan folders. You got a web, file, and mail shield. It does have some of this stuff is paid for, obviously, like all this right here. But I mean, it does its job and it protects me. So that's my antivirus. If you guys have something else, use obviously what you want to use. But yeah, that's about it, guys. As I said, here's all the setups and services. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more content like this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.
I've always been loving you. Loving.